are.
Yeah. Let me confirm and let me confirm that it's that it's actually live on Facebook and that's last night's feed. Is this so funny?
That's,
I love
it is
this.
hilarious. I am like, I don't even know what half these platforms are.
Yeah, well, we're
I'm
on
an
like
old
seven of
person
them right
now.
now. Let me just make sure that we're live. No, it's cool. We're all like kind of let's see if it went. If it went. Yeah. We're live everywhere. Thank you to
Awesome.
yeah, we've got one watcher over on Instagram. They can't hear you, but they can hear me. They're kind of getting the behind the scenes piece. And then over on Facebook and YouTube and Periscope and well, both YouTube streams, we now are live with two watchers. I'm going to go over into my Facebook and share this out to my other pages if you don't mind, Davi.
Yeah, go for it. I'm just chilling right now.
It's a Monday. It's a whole
I
Monday, guy.
know.
Like, I mean, and talk about like it's it's like it's the Monday of Mondays. I feel.
Yeah, that's a great way to phrase it. Yes, it is. It is a whole new kind of Monday.
I mean, how I'm gonna turn down this jazz a little bit. How well I didn't mean to go all the way down like that. How are you feeling today?
That's a very interesting question. At this moment, I'm feeling great. Like I feel very excited to be chatting with you. And one of the more positive and joy-inducing aspects of this has been that I've like been able to connect with various friends of mine. Like on
Yeah.
Saturday, I hosted this dinner party over Zoom, and we had about 15 people.
Tell
And
me
there were
about that because
people like,
I got an invite, but then I got caught up. You know, I saw a shiny thing and I got distracted. I can't name what the shiny thing was out loud. But
oh
I
my.
see.
Well, the funny thing is,
Yeah.
it probably would have been fine no matter what the shiny thing was. You probably would have been fine to log in. Like we had one
Well, I mean,
friend
no,
who joined who
I don't think that you understand.
oh like
Unless it was that kind of party. Hey Pam, hey Bobby, we're
no, it
talking to
wasn't that kind
Davi
of party.
Cohen, my Zend out friend, who's amazing. Um, it feels weird tonight because usually it's been kind of this like weird thing where I like hit the camera and then I go on and then it's like just chill. But like tonight I have another energy like actually in the space like broadcasting. Uh,
Nice.
Yes, y'all give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and Davi because last night we had, hey Stacia, last night Stacia and I had issues, so I stayed up all night last night learning a new program to try to like make this technology happen because I really want us to be together in these days. So give me a thumbs up or give me yeah, I can hear you both if you can hear us both. I think they can. I think I got this right this time. Okay. Anyway, tell me about
Okay.
this. Tell me
Here,
about.
I'll say something, and now maybe that'll
Okay,
help them
there we go.
determine whether they can hear us both.
Give us a thumbs
Now
up.
I can't hear anyone. Oh wait, there you are.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Hi. Yeah, I wonder if they could. I think they can hear you too.
Okay.
But no one said anything. Oh, I could always give me 1 second to be a little ratchet and see if keep talking. I'm gonna see if you. If,
Can't hear anyone. Oh wait, there you are.
oh, there you are. You're there too. You're there too. We're both
Oh,
here. We're both here.
awesome.
They can hear us, but Bobby confirms. Okay, so tell us about your inspired idea that you had on the World Wide Web.
Yeah. So on this started last week actually when I had a meeting of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee at New York Insight. So,
You went to
essentially
that
a very
meeting. You
serious.
went to that meeting.
Well. Here, so the meeting happened over Zoom, and at one point over the course of this meeting, another participant in the meeting stood up, unaware of the angle of his computer camera, revealing to me and perhaps all in the meeting that he was wearing a sweater, socks, and underpants, and nothing else.
Now let me ask. Let me ask the question that I feel everyone wants to know, or that I want to know. What kind of underpants were they? Were they like the tidy whities?
I didn't really get it. I didn't get that close a look.
Okay. All
I
right.
kind of only noticed this, because he was like walking in and out of the room. And at one point he came back and I was like, this person's not wearing any pants. This is fantastic. And I was just so like overjoyed
Was he
and delighted by
oblivious
this.
to it, or did he realize it? Like, or did he even care?
I don't know that he knew or cared particularly. And I
Yes,
don't know that
freedom.
everybody, it was a sort of a non-event other than to bring me enormous amounts of joy. And I can only hope that other people participating in this meeting may have had a similar experience of delight upon discovering this. And so I posted on Facebook about this, which was like the algorithm jackpot. And like nobody ever pays attention to anything I say on social media. And I don't necessarily post all that often on Facebook, but like I posted this and I had like 300 people within, a few hours being like, this is fantastic. This is amazing. And I was like, we should have a pantsless dinner party via
pantsless
Zoom.
dinner party via. Oh wow! No, was this like was this like cooking for you because of like coronavirus, or are you?
Yeah, I mean, it was on Wednesday was the meeting, and interestingly, and like I think a lot of people are noticing this now, that I was supposed to have had surgery on my leg on March 4th, which I didn't have, and that's a whole other story that I could get into. But because I was going to have surgery before the city began to brace for this pandemic, I had requested if I could participate in this meeting remotely, even just to listen. Like I understand sometimes it can be difficult when you have an in-person meeting to integrate the technology and make it easy for that other person who, if there's only one person on the phone or Zoom, make it easy for them to participate. Although I have certainly had many, many such meetings, and it is not actually that challenging. It just requires a little bit of, attention from either a facilitator or everyone present to be able to hear and make space for that one or two or three people who are, online and calling or Zooming in. Mm-hmm. But in any case, I was actually told that essentially that it wasn't going to be possible, and they were sorry that they'd missed me. And then 1 week later, we arrived at the point where everybody was beginning this process of physical distancing. And so then the whole meeting went online, except for a couple of people who happened to be at New York Insight that day. So the meeting went online entirely, and anybody who wanted to participate in it that way was invited to do so. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that, once that happened, I was like, oh, well, we need to practice this physical distancing anyway. So why don't I organize a Zoom party, and we can make it, pants optional / whatever cozy thing at home you want to wear. Mm-hmm. And I invited people to share any recipes that they were thinking that they might prepare.
What type of recipes did you get? Because I'm a foodie,
one of the things that was so nice about it was that I got to I think it was like a really highlighting people's comfort food. Yeah. So like one person had an omelet with green peas in it.
I'm sorry. Wait. No. What you're not going to do tonight on this Monday is casually say omelet with green peas in it. And I mean, I'm not yucking anybody's yum. I'm just saying, like, wow.
I love eggs and peas. It's a great post-workout as far as I'm concerned.
Wait. So you're steaming peas and then you're scrambling eggs and putting them together?
Yeah, I mean, I assume.
Okay, give me 1 second, because I don't want to leave anybody out.
Kitchen, right?
I don't want to leave anybody out. So those of you who are watching, we got 13 people watching or listening into this interview right now. A whole 13 lovely human beings are giving us the gift of their time, and I want to ask them: have they ever heard of eggs and peas as like a combination that like goes together? You do that. You've done this before, Dami.
I have done it, yes. And I was not the person eating eggs and peas, to be clear. But I really enjoy eggs and peas together.
Oh my! It's
so
break.
What's
I'm
the feedback from your your listeners?
So somebody said eggs and peas ? So that's not going too well. And then the next person, sorry. So Yolanda said eggs and peas ? Tamisha Booknight said. She's giving like the emoji that has the hand to its mouth, which is not good for us to do right now. And then a flat kind of emotion. Tamisha says no, never. Carrie
Oh
says, I
no.
like peas and I like eggs, but not together. And Carrie, I think that's what's going on for me too. Like, I'm like carrots and peas for dinner with a little like lean cut of something nice, or alternative protein if you fuck that, around that way. And I see that, and then I also see like my bacon and my eggs and my breakfast. You smashing the eggs and the peas together is causing a cognitive dissociation.
Okay, I will give you this. If we
Yes.
were on like the COVID version of Chopped right now,
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
that would probably get chopped straight away because of
It would.
textural issues,
Yolanda
right?
says
Like the
no.
peas and the
Hope says hell no with the down with the down hand. Pam says,
right, exactly.
but
Everybody's
Pam says
chopping
I've
it.
had
Everyone's
it.
like,
And
no to that.
you have one person though that loves it. Pam says I've had it and love it.
Okay, so it's not my friend James who happened to be having it on Saturday night. So at least we know that there's at least 2 people or 3 people in the world who love eggs and peas.
But then
I, on
somebody
the
else
other
just said
hand,
that they've had egg drop soup with peas and it wasn't that
ooh,
bad.
that sounds
So
good.
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, so it was just like a sweet. We talked for about 2 hours,
Yeah.
and there were what other things were people eating? Somebody else made like beef and cabbage.
That sounds
I
great.
made 2 pieces of beef tenderloin with broccolini.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was a whole.
I mean,
And then of course there were some people who weren't eating because we had folks who were from Berlin and LA, so they weren't
yeah.
at mealtime.
Tell me. You don't have to name names, but tell me the locations of your guest list.
Okay, well, my friend who was in Berlin called in from the bath, so he was in the bathtub while he called in.
Oh, wow.
And then we had one friend in Los Angeles in Venice Beach, and then we had a few people in Harlem, one person in Minneapolis,
Mm-hmm.
and then everybody else was in Brooklyn. One of the people was my neighbor who lives down the hall. So we had 2 people.
Wait, so
actually, 3
he was
people
on the
who were
internet
all,
in his house, and you were on the internet in your house, and you all were
yes,
together.
exactly.
I love it.
Yes.
These are the times we're
That was
living in,
fun.
right?
Totally.
But you,
yeah, and it was just a lot of people from Brooklyn.
wow, a lot, yeah. I mean, I think there were some of us. I mean, beginning at the top of the week, I was literally like, I can sense what this is. I've heard the numbers. I've listened to scientists, and I've kind of elevated the scientists to like the top of my priority of listenership. And I was like, this is looking like I might be in the house for a few days until this gets sorted. And I don't know about you. I naturally lean towards being a homebody. So I have no Yolanda, this is not moonshine. This is Davi can't see that I'm drinking apple cider vinegar and water. It's one of my
Like a little fire cider concoction of sorts.
it's one of my like singer tricks. If I drink like a few capfuls of vinegar water in like a standard mason jar, I think this one's like 24 ounces. It's got to be more than 24 ounces. Maybe it's 32 once by the time it gets to the top. Child, I'm no mathematician. Anyway, if I drink that every day, then the notes pop a little clearly. So yeah, it's not piss and it's not moonshine. Anyway, when I figured that we were going to be in that house for a very long time, I hunkered down and I said, I'm not going anywhere. Were you also feeling the same way?
Did I lose?
I'm here.
Oh, yeah. So it's interesting, one thing that I wondered. I've been furloughed today at my workplace.
Could you explain to people that may not know what furlough means?
Yeah, so I work in a public park in New York City, and I manage a farm there, and also a bunch of educational programming. And because this is an educational farm, we're not relied upon in New York City for food production. We are tying our work to park visitors, public programming, educational programming, and so forth. So, I'm gearing up, like this is really when the season begins, and we hired new people and all this sort of stuff. And and so that was a big question in my mind, especially since I do work outside, whether this would be, how this would manifest. And kind of as soon as the schools were closed, I was pretty confident that my workplace was going to make the decision that they did. But yeah, there are versions of this, and there are farms in the city where this conversation is unfolding right now. And like, I have other friends who were working today, and they've created a rotating schedule, and have like safety protocols in place, and are, in my case, like I would walk to work if I were able to work right now. It would be a long walk, but that would sound quite lovely to me. So, I mean, I'm taking, as I think we should all be, I'm taking it very seriously. And I'm 40 years old, but I'm also an asthmatic, and, I'm a vulnerable, to respiratory infection in that way. And of course, also, I very much want to avoid, transmitting this to others. So yes, I have been curious and,
yeah. Anybody? I want to throw it out to everybody who's watching. Like, anybody else, kind of. You don't have to, no HIPAA violations on here. But is anybody else like having like physical challenges that could make them more susceptible to what's going on right now? And really kind of, because that would set you down for a minute, right, Davi?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's hard to say right now. Like, I did try to do some research. Similarly, a friend of mine who has diabetes was like, we were both sort of just trying to find out, like, has there been any data yet coming out about exactly, what sort of additional vulnerabilities, or what have been the impacts on people with these specific kinds of immunocompromised situations. And there's not a whole lot of information. But yeah, I mean, I get a flu shot every year. And I can remember a handful of years where I didn't, like maybe 2 years where I didn't get a flu shot. And in those instances, like when I was younger, especially if I would get a cold or have like particularly bad allergies, sometimes it would make me susceptible to really intense asthma symptoms. My asthma is very well controlled, but I don't imagine that I have no reason to assume that if I were to get this virus, it would just be like, oh, no big deal. So I don't, but it's hard to say. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah.
Excuse me. Of course, we're talking about this, and now I'm like,
and I was like, don't you do that on this live?
Have no fear. It cannot transmit through the internet.
Through the internet. Oh my gosh. Bam says my hubby has asthma and is a CNA. Oh wow. And so he's around a lot of people that are ailing or that will potentially be ailing from this. I mean, you also have an artistic side to you. And is this affecting your artistry in any way? Because I know that up and down my feed, it's like ton of like the sky is falling for so many artists.
Well, here's something that I'll say in response to that. I just closed a show that is eerily sort of relevant in its content and in some of the choices that we made aesthetically. And I don't work full time any longer in that field. So, in terms of like having an economic or material impact on me as an artist, this doesn't impact that. I'm not a gigging artist any longer. Yeah. But, and if anything, I actually think that, more broadly, my decision to leave the industry was, I think, one of the best things I ever did for myself as an artist. And so
I remember you saying that. That's one of the first things you said when we met each other. You were like, I'm free from that. And I was like, what does that even feel like?
And so there's a way in which aspects of this, also can, if your basic needs, or if you're privileged enough to have, or in my case, like my basic needs are right now well tended to. I have a safe home, I have access to food at this moment. And even though I'm facing some financial uncertainty, it doesn't immediately endanger me in the way that it does a lot of other people.
Right.
And so I think there's an opportunity for me to actually, sit into my creativity and my artistic practice and forge collaborative connections and imagine things. And, like one other thing that I'm that I did for several years. Like I've had daily dance practice, and at different times have, for a while I was doing dances with produce, right? So I would bring home what I would grow on the farm and dance every day with different vegetables and fruits and things, and sometimes flowers and herbs, and record these. So I have like
day, like pre TikTok.
Oh yeah. I've never used TikTok. I don't even know from
See,
TikTok.
I think you would like it given what this is, but
So yeah, like, oh, incidentally, Frank Sousa is calling me right now. I'll talk to him after, but I just thought I would I would say that because I thought you'd appreciate it. What I was going to say though is that that I have, I have long enjoyed the opportunity to work in a solitary mode creatively, and also to share prompts with people, and drawing prompts, writing prompts, dance prompts, vocal prompts. Like, there's an opportunity for those of us who can find that calm and cultivate some stability inside of this to also explore those practices and seek refuge in them and share them with each other. So I see so much of that happening, and so much, resilience and refuge with that, like including a cellist friend of mine who, made a beautiful recording today and made that public.
Created it in the midst of all of this chaos, created this beautiful piece of music and put it out.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't create, I think it was a Bach concerto or something for cello.
Yeah, still.
But yeah, I mean, that's, she's offering that as with the knowledge that this is something that people will find stimulating, comforting, right? Like it's an offering that she can really provide right now. So I see so much of that happening, and it's just like, of course, this is a time for creative responses in terms of artistic practice, but also to embrace the creativity and resilience in our relational practices. And somebody else was saying, like, they took their kid for a walk today and counted on another friend's feed and counted 68 things in their neighborhood that were blue. And I was like, that's a great, like, I want to go on a walk like that and be like, I'm going to notice every single thing that's,
blue.
Blue.
Yeah,
on my walk and see what they are.
I've not done that. I can't tell you. I'm going to put this question out to people that are watching now. When was the last time, everybody who's watching right now on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all these things, when was the last time you walked outside and counted everything blue? That's wild to me. Like, keep going, Davi. Sorry, I just had to put that out there.
No, it's okay. I mean, August, my partner and I, we regularly go on what we call cat census walks in our neighborhood, where we go around and, notice and count the cats that we see.
Yes.
And that includes window cat, feral cat, it's all the cats.
Any kind of cat.
And so I feel like any kind of cat. We could even count pictures of cats that we see. Like, there used to be this big, amazing, beautiful meow mural that's no longer there on I want to say Fenimore and Flatbush. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know if I've ever specifically looked at, like, gone on a walk and been like, I'm going to count things that are blue in particular, but I do really enjoy, like, that invitation to notice. And interestingly, I don't know if other people who are listening right now also know this, but like that's a commonly used practice in calming some trauma or PTSD or CPTSD response. Like, if you find that you are activated in the body and the mind, one of the strategies can be to, look around your physical environment and notice, like, okay, I'm going to notice everything that's white, and even maybe name those things, or everything that's made of metal, or everything that's made of wood, or right, like those are ways of allowing the space to inform the mind, to give you something to focus on that's other than the activation in the body or the traumatic memory in the body or the mind that has arisen. And so it's just interesting to think about that. Like, it's a fun, creative way of noticing, and it can also
Right.
be really calming and might
Yolanda
be a
is
great idea.
watching, and Yolanda's saying that type of task on a walk brings presence. Isn't that?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That kind of task, and I mean, I can literally let's mark this moment, Davi, because I can tell you over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to need that. That I'm going to need. And over the next two
Mm-hmm.
weeks, at some point, not because I'm trying to call these things in or invite these things into my energy or whatever, but at some point, I'm going to, like, something is going to be disturbing about a very disturbing situation that we're in. And I'm going to need to just bring to mind everything that's blue or yellow or green in a space
Mm-hmm.
as a way of kind of like bringing my mind kind of back into the present moment of what I actually see. So there's also some present moment awareness in there. It's like, oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
green. I witnessed that as green in this moment because I'm in this space and I'm in this room and I'm in this time. Um,
Totally. I mean, what I hear you saying is like it allows you also to be curious and open to what
yes,
is present. Yeah.
yes, totally, 100%, 100%. Oh my gosh, and then Yolanda also says, or count the things that bring you joy. That's great too.
Mm-hmm.
Because those don't
Mm-hmm.
those don't even need to be in the room. Um, before I let you go, what are you holding hope for? I know that there's
Oh,
no way
wow.
there's no way of knowing. I know it's a big question. I know there's no way of knowing exactly everything that we are about to encounter, both the beautiful things and the terrible things. We can't predict those things. I left my crystal ball at the shop. But like,
Mm.
you know, I think that hope is going to be one of those hope and community. I think are going to be two of the most magical things that actually keeps us, our ship, right side. Id. I think
Mm.
that's how you say that. Um, what are you holding on hope for?
One thing that comes to mind is that I hope that
Bye, Carrie. Have a good
folks
night.
folks
Sorry. I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
It's
Folks
this
who are
format.
suffering
Hmm.
and facing death, that they're in the midst of this, that there is the opportunity to like be comforted, to be seen. Like, I think there's this way where a lot of the images and the stories and the narrative that we're receiving right now, particularly I'm thinking like in Italy, it's like this just overwhelm, right? And that
Hmm.
doctors are faced with these impossible decisions, and that people are 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 losing their wellness and losing their lives. And there's not a lot of, I haven't at least seen a lot of like attention to, how are we holding those people who are facing that moment? Are they, are they receiving comfort? What is the experience of being a chaplain right now? What is the experience of, right? Like, so the thing that
Mm.
comes to my mind is just hope for, obviously, of course, for the, minimization of suffering and pain
Yeah.
in the face of this, but that for those who are experiencing that they are able to feel seen and held, and and appreciated as they experience that suffering.
Yeah. That they would be comforted.
Mm. That they would be comforted, and obviously, also that they have the resources and capacity to comfort themselves, but that also that we sort of like collectively and are able to somehow offer that,
Yes.
that comfort and that recognition,
Yes.
because it seems it's inevitable, right? Like, and that's true at every moment, right? There are people that are passing away and suffering for reasons that have nothing to do with
As we
the virus
speak.
right now,
As we
and that is
speak.
still unfolding.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, right, right, right.
So,
And so, how do we hold space in our heart for them as well?
mm,
You
yeah,
know, that's
that's one hope.
yeah. Thank you for that because
Intention.
yeah, and I want to partner. I'm not sure if it's possible to partner with someone else's hopes. I hope that that's a
Oh, I
thing.
love that idea.
But yeah, I do want to partner with you on that, and I don't know the names of the people who transition onward today to you know who succumb to, COVID-19, or all of the millions of ways that we can
Mm-mm.
transition, but I want to remember them. Because I think in this moment right now with you, Davi, and with everybody that's watching, I want to remember them because their lives had great vibrance and vitality to it just as much as our own. Someone
Mm.
loved them. Someone cared for them. Someone worshipped the ground they walked on. Um, someone rolled their eyes when they walked into the room.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a. They had sad days. They had happy days. They cried sometimes. They laughed sometimes. These thousands of people. I'm sure if we looked at the numbers, it'd be like wild. But so many. Did you hear about the lady who she drops like a bucket of salt in to this exhibit every day to signify all the people that were born for that day? And
No, I didn't.
yeah, and then when she ends the day, she moves like this bottom like mechanism on the vessel, and then it dumps out the amount of people who passed that day. And she uses that as this
Wow.
kind of like ritualistic honoring of everyone who comes and everyone who goes. My friend I won't speak her name, but my friend, because she's a new mom, and I'm going to honor that. But she had a fresh new baby in Toronto. I think that's safe to say. On Friday the 13th, when everything was kind of
Mm.
coming to a head, and it's so. And then I had a friend that passed through mysterious circumstances, may or may not be coronavirus related, in South Africa, and it was so interesting like having the knowledge in that moment that Elise was leaving, if you want to use that language, and baby Rose was coming in at practically the same
Mm.
time. And there was like this
Mm.
like crossover, and for my comfort, I don't know if this is real or not, or too woo woo, I really really felt that in the spirit side of life, that Dr. Elise Brown was actually ushering baby Rose into this and kind of
Mm.
giving her that handover of like, may your journey be, what do we say in the in may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be
Maybe, yeah.
yeah.
Maybe peaceful. May you
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
compassion. Right? We can say all those. We can make it up. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
can make
We
it
don't.
up.
It doesn't have to be something in a certain tradition. Yeah. So I kind of like
No.
want to and like, cause I'm the one of those people. I'm a Southern person that has a hard time letting people go off the phone. But before I let you go, like
Ah!
we say bye like 20 times, in the South. But
But
okay, bye. But before you go, bye. And I catch myself doing it. But really, before you go, I want us to take a moment to just say to everyone who's watching on all of these platforms, and to, yeah, may you be happy.
Mm.
May you be peaceful. May you be safe. May you feel safety wherever you are
Yeah.
right now. Davi's in Brooklyn. I'm in Queens. Um, you're wherever you are on the earth. May you feel safety in this, like, and may you feel safety in the very like seat of you, like wherever that space is inside you, that is like the basement. I'm talking like like beneath the concrete, beneath the like like the like dirt, Davi.
Mm.
Um, Wherever that is in you, may you invite safety into that space right now. Because a lot of the hoarding of toilet paper and a lot of the hysteria is based on people acting out of fear.
Yeah.
And they're scared that there's not going to be enough. But when you come into the seat of that place within you that I was just talking about, and you just rest there. I'm safe. I'm safe. One of my favorite teachers, Louise Hay, would say, um, all is well, all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. And out of this situation, only good can come, and I'm safe. And it sounds a little
Mhm.
Pollyanna, but I love all is well. All is well. Everything is working out for my good. And out of this situation, only good can come, and I am safe. And kind of, even if we're in like the hardest of times, kind of working ourselves into that I'm safe. This could actually turn out okay. And I'm not trying to be insensitive to the people who've gone on, or the fact that I could go on. I mean, like those of us on the Buddhist path, we were contemplating death all the time. like
Mhm. Mhm.
as like we're like we befriended. It's like, hey there, friend. You got corona for me? You got cancer? What you got? Like it's like, and I'm not trying to be insensitive, and I think you know my heart, Davi,
Absolutely.
but like we just become kind of, and this is not a 100% thing for me, like I don't even know what the numbers would be, but you just kind of contemplate death so much where you're like, if coronavirus is the thing that gets me, it really isn't like the way I may have wanted it to go, but it is well with my soul. And
Mhm.
it's just like a weird, like I said, I'm saying this as a guy who has 40 pounds of rice in the kitchen because I panicked at the grocery store, and 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 because it was all because so I can't throw stones. It was all because the lady was like, you can't have two, you can only have one, and something about her telling me I could only have one and like rationing
Yeah.
me, um, which this is not for
Oh.
this is for therapy and some deeper shit, but like something about that was like, oh no, I can win at this, and she's not, like, it just fired a lot of things that I want to talk to my therapist about, but when I can get back in. And I immediately took the 20-pound bag home, and then went out to another grocery store and got another 20-pound bag. um so that's the example.
I appreciate that you're holding both of these realities, right? Like
Yeah,
it's complicated, right?
it's
Like there's not going to always be a single uh, truth or a single
yeah.
feeling inside you to guide you. And we're trying to kind of get
Mm,
at that deeper sense of
mm,
curiosity and compassion and care that can allow us to, you know, make choices that are most aligned with our truest nature and our truest values. But that also means like doing what you're doing, which is like having a little bit of a sense of humor about choices that you made that may have been
yeah,
motivated by
yeah,
fear or
yeah.
by anxiety or whatever.
Yeah. And Davi, I'm thankful. Here's the gratitude I have, and I think that everyone who has this that's watching should probably take a moment, if you'd like to be grateful for it as well. I love that there's a part of me that knows that I'm being ridiculous as I'm being ridiculous. That's very
Mm-hmm.
soothing to me. It's like when I'm like up on a cloud and I think I'm an astronaut, and I'm like convinced that like the whole room is floating. I'm about to float away, and I go, you're not an astronaut, dude. Like you're Dre in Queens. You're not an astronaut, and you're not floating. It's kind of like having that like that upper level awareness that like, oh, I'm acting in fear right now, but there's a part of me that's not actually afraid.
Yes.
And that's a quote. Someone said that. I don't know who said that, but that's a quote from somewhere that's not me. So I'm not having a profound moment of truth. It's like there's the part of you that recognizes that you are walking in fear is like the most powerful part of you.
Mm.
I know that I went and got that rice. I know that I'm overreacting, and not speaking to coronavirus. I'm like XYZ thing. It's like I'm aware that I bought two things of cough syrup today, not one. I'm aware.
Right.
But then how do I become intentional about if I've got this 40 pounds of rice that I bought in my preservation mode and ridiculousness, somewhere, some half and half of that, if I have it, but my neighbor upstairs or my neighbor next door
Mm.
doesn't have it in the next couple weeks, or then however long we're not allowed to grub hub, or no, we'll go into the restaurant. um am I willing to freely give it away?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
am I willing to take the second place to gain the first? And like if I'm playing with all of this like spiritual woo woo stuff, but I think everybody that's in the space knows, you know, what's going on. I mean,
I was like, who do we have? Who do we have that's following along with you that doesn't have a little bit of the woo in them?
yeah, exactly. Pam just said precisely, but I'm willing to share anything I have, and like literally, guys, I'm a little on the cloud. I'm gonna admit, and I probably wouldn't have admitted that like a year ago, but I'm getting more free in my life. And hey, coronavirus. So I'm on a cloud right now, and I literally am so moved because Pam just said like the spirit of my heart, and when I was communicating to you, Davi, I'm willing to share everything I have. And I've got fear inside of me about what's going on, but I've got equal love. I've got greater love inside me, actually. I've got 40 pounds of rice, but if somebody needed all 40 of them, because rice isn't the only thing in my house. So if someone needed that, if someone needed all 40 pounds of that rice, take it. Because I believe that interdependence, that yummy golden cord that connects us all. I mean, are you feeling what I'm putting down, Davi?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I'm with you. I'm just like letting you riff. It's a beautiful riff. So
I'm
totally with you on that. And
wow. I think Yolanda. I think Yolanda up top said, "Oh yeah." Pam says, "Me too." Yolanda called that inner presence that kind of observes when you're in fear, the observer. Like you're in that powerful stuff. Like when you can be like, "Oh, like I probably shouldn't do this," but it's there's no kids on here, but like I'm pursuing. I'll say it this way: I'm pursuing these pleasures. I'm pursuing this sex because I really want attention. And having like the observer recognize, oh, dude, you're just swiping on these booty apps because you want attention.
Right, and in a funny way, right? That observer part of you is giving you attention in that moment, right? Like if you can tune into that, and it's like, oh, I can offer myself some attention as well. Since
I really can.
I
and then if I want to move on and have some fun, then I'm moving from a different place, And I'm not slut shaming or anything like that because God only knows what I do. Okay, so I'm not moving from that place, but yeah, it's like there is a space in all of us right now where we can like really, really hone into the truth of who we are. I think I read somewhere amongst the feeds that like being positive and being hopeful can actually like aid the healing process and the immunity of the body. I think that's science, right? We'll look it up and then I'll drop.
Yeah, we'll throw some links in the comments.
Okay, first of all, I have mad love for you because you didn't co-sign something you did not know. And then number two, you were like, yeah, let me go. I'm convinced because of placebo effects and things like that. Like that where your mind believes you're going to be, it can help aid in your healing process. That's what the whole placebo thing is built on, Let me give you
sure, and I mean I just can't cite this. I'm not in fact disagreeing with you. I merely just do not have the scientific data on hand.
If we
and
had,
also, I will say, right, this. Go. No, go ahead.
No, we're gonna pin your thought. You got your thought? You got your thought?
No, I was just gonna say there's also the like all of this, science presently studying the thousands and thousands year old practices of mindfulness and meditation and observation and awareness and concentration and so on. And there are people also making connections between physical health and brain health and peace of mind and obviously we know a little bit already about the ways in which those practices de-stress you and how having lower cortisol in the body can help you heal things.
You better connect to that.
Sure we can find some links.
Look, you better believe that like my number one thing after we finish being together tonight, everybody is going to find that link to definitely drop. But like per our like in business world, per our previous discussion, here's the link
Ugh.
about the mind body spirit connection that I'm just trying to like allude to. Um. Anyway, thank you, Davi, for being here and sharing about your
Thank you. This was such a joy to have. First of all, we haven't had a conversation
in a
in
month
quite
of
a while in
Sundays.
real
Yes,
time.
yes,
So
yes, yes. And then to have your energy in here as I mean, it's just Davi. Davi kind of floats on a cloud. That's how when I met you, um, I just remember you coming into the space, not a strand of hair on that beautiful head, and I said, oh, this is a person that just boldly presents as they want to in the world. Good night, Pam. Have a great night. She sent Pam saying, have a great night to both of us. And the husband
oh,
enjoyed
hi
watching
Pam.
us tonight.
I'm so glad.
We offer you love, Pam. We offer you love for real, for real. Um, yeah, you floated on a cloud though, and I said, "Who is this presence that's just so like at peace with the world?" I was like, I want some of that, and now I realize I don't know what path you're in now, and that's that's between you and you. But I found that the Buddha Dharma and melding that kind of mashing that against like my Judeo-Christian lineage that isn't oppressive. Hello. So basically the
Mm-hmm.
things that actual like historical Jesus supposedly said resonate more with me. So
Mm.
I've smashed like supposed historical Jesus's words in with like the Buddha Dharma and gotten like kind of
Mm-hmm.
a God like Jesus gives me the feels, like the oh Jesus gives me the feels. Hallelujah. But Buddha like fixes my brain. Like actually
Mm-hmm.
says like dude like right speech, right action, and right thought can actually save your
Mm.
motherfucking life. Like Jesus makes me go,
Mm.
ah! And then Buddha's like, sit your ass down and like
Mm.
like watch your thoughts pass in front of you like clouds and then watch
Mm.
them like vaporize away. Like that's what Buddha did for me. Jesus Jesus never did that. But that's okay. We still love Jesus, but Jesus never did that. Anyway, I now found and I think when I met you, that was one of the first times I was actually encountering the Dharma for the first time. So
Mm-hmm.
I had no one to actually like resonate with. And there's a part of this practice that they do at that center that we were at where at the end everyone gets to kind of bow towards each other in the room, and then people get to share what insights came to them from the meditation and the spoken offering. And I think you didn't speak every week, but you consistently spoke up in a way that was, first of all, I remember distinctly sitting behind you, a little behind. This is not you from Netflix, by the way. But I remember sitting behind you to like your right, and no, sorry, behind you to the left. You were on like a zafu in front, and I was on a zafu back behind. And I remember one of my first encounters with you and your energy. I remember going, that person has the most impeccable diction that I've ever heard in my damn life. Like, I'll never forget. I'll never forget. You were sharing
My
from
mother would be so proud.
your people can't really pick up on it tonight because we're on this like we're talking across zeros and ones. But if you ever encounter Davi in person, especially when Davi's in contemplative. What are your pronouns, by the way?
Oh, she, her, hers, and they, them, theirs
Okay, okay, cool.
are great.
I don't want to
Both of them are
I
fine.
don't want to play you on
No, thank you. I
Algorithm
appreciate that.
internet.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So when you encounter her and them, you like you're gonna find, especially if they're in a contemplative space, the most crispy. Like I'm talking like the edge of like a crispy thigh from like Popeyes.
Oh my goodness.
It's so crispy, and what you were saying was also striking a well deep inside me of something that I didn't know that I needed but had found. And so that's how we're forever going to be Buddha Dharma and spiritual siblings, because you know I found you as I was finding the spirit of the Buddha that lives within us all. So anyway, thank you for the gift.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. That was just a very generous reflection, and I'm really grateful to receive it. And it's super uplifting to speak with you this evening.
I love you too. I love you too. Have a
I
great
love you.
night. And
Thank you.
we're gonna check back in soon. Because this thing is gonna keep going until it don't go no more. So we may check back in with you in a little bit, even if it's like just through like a text, and I'll report back to everybody who's been watching about how.
Oh, that would be
The
great.
great Davi Coat. We send you love, and I want to send love out to everybody who's watching. I'm just going to end this all at one time. I'll probably send you a thank you text after this is all over, Davi, because I'm a little extra. But I thank you for being here and for sharing your heart and your love with us tonight.
Thank you. You're so deeply welcome, and I appreciate the space that you are creating, Andre. And I am delighted to know that there were all these other people listening and participating. And I look forward to reading what folks said after.
Yes, go for it. Go for it. It's always a laugh. I love you.
Okay, I love you too. Good night.
Good night. Have a good night.